Did you miss me? I'm back. I'm back. I have not left this seat for more than just a couple minutes. Abby, welcome back. You were first. You win the internet for this evening. Congratulations. Be careful with it. It's dangerous. I immediately after we finished our last live stream, I started doing homework on what's coming next, and I realized we still have the sentencing, we still have the impact statements, we have the victim statements. There's a lot of material left still to discuss and share with you with Darrell Brooks. Abby, did I rest? No, I didn't. I had a quick snack and a drink, and that was it. Lori, welcome. Angie, evening. Yay, Abby gets the internet. Be careful, Abby, and please don't make it crash. Here's what I did. You guys had suggested the Sarah Boone suitcase murder trial as another one to follow. I like it for a couple of reasons. First of all, it starts on November 7th, which is soon. So it won't be too much as far as withdrawals for all y'all. But oh my goodness, I went and started watching this video, and it is bizarre. Have you guys followed this? Let me turn the audio down just a tiny bit on that. Basically, what they have is they have released let's switch to that. They've released the interrogation videos for this woman, and there's some similarities. Here's what I said. First, as soon as I saw this, there are some similarities. Adventures in... You've been on a roll, Scott. Way to go. I love some true crime. Big fan. Me too. I'm an addict, and I didn't know it. I mean, I did, but anyway, you know what I was saying about that. This lady, the background on this is she's had this relationship with this guy for 3 years. It's like a boyfriend-girlfriend type situation, and something... They've had some turmoil. Even to the point where I believe both of them, at one point or another, have spent nights in jail as a result of some domestic incidents involving each other. Not the smoothest of relationships as far as that goes, but not that one. I need this one. Okay. So yeah, it's a little bit of a rocky road there. Supposedly it's getting better, and what happens is this picks up with this interview. If you just start this case with this interview, it starts off with the fact the boyfriend's dead, first of all, and they found him dead, or she found him dead in a suitcase. Back up a little bit, and she goes into explaining how this all happened, and the problem with this is she has talked to the investigators, these two investigators, once before this interview, and her story already doesn't match up. When she first called the police, okay, back up. Let me tell you, I'm so excited about this case. It is absolutely crazy. Ann says, "Oh, she's crazy." Yes, she is, Ann. It's bizarre. Hey, I think I can put you up on the screen. Yes, that's still working. If we pause for a second, let me take a deep breath and let me try to be rational and spell this out in the order that I understand it in. This lady and her husband, or boyfriend, not really husband, although she mentions wedding ring and stuff in here, so there's a little bit of a gray area there we're not quite sure about, but I think it's boyfriend for real. Maybe common law, we're not sure. This lady spent the evening with him playing games, then asked him to come inside so they could work on a puzzle and listen to music and all this, and through the course of this, they started playing hide and seek. And I guess I've been playing hide and seek wrong. I've always thought that when you hide, you try not to tell the other person where you're hiding. But the way she describes it, she thought it would be fun for him to hide in a suitcase. And so she zipped him into it. And then she thought, oh, this is a fun game, according to her story. And she went upstairs and fell asleep about half an hour later. This was what, midnight or so? Wakes up at, say, 11 a.m., stays upstairs for about an hour, comes downstairs and like, oh, crap, where's my boyfriend? Oh, yeah, he's still in the suitcase. He's dead. He's stiff. He's purple. She says she does CPR. She takes him out and tries to stretch him out a little bit, lay him out, still purple. Calls her ex-husband, okay, and who I believe got there before the police. And the ex-husband says, hey, you need to call the police. She calls the police. Lori says, geez, I can't fit in the suitcase. Neither can I. I don't know where she's buying her suitcases. But the boyfriend was a smaller stature. We'll find out a little bit about that. Anyway, so she calls the police, and so we've got this 911 call where she's like, "Hey, is this what's the type of what's the nature of your emergency?" And she's like, "My boyfriend's dead." And they're like, "Oh, okay, ma'am. Let's see, option 2, boyfriend dead. That goes to fire. Hold on for the fire department." So the fire department gets on, and they get there, and the fire department's like, this is sort of a little new for them, right? How often do you find dead people that have been in a suitcase? They call the investigators. The investigators get there, and she starts telling her story. And the whole thing is like, we were just playing a game. I zipped him into the suitcase, and then I fell asleep. That's basically the premise of her whole defense. I didn't know what the word was for it because Darrell Brooks this whole past week hasn't had one, so it escaped me. But the premise of her defense, Chandra, welcome back. We're just doing a quick update because I want to tell you about what's coming up next, and I think it's going to be the Susan Boone. We might talk Susan Powell as well, but Susan Boone, the suitcase murder. It is bizarre. I watched this entire interrogation as well as the body cam video of her interrogation at the scene when the investigators showed up at her house. Basically, she stuffed her boyfriend in a suitcase and zipped it shut. And she says, "Oh, I left a little hole in there so he could have 2 fingers out and stuff. And it was easy for me to unzip it, so I figured he could unzip it. And then I went to bed and I forgot all about him for 12 hours. And then when I remembered, I thought, oh, he's downstairs on the computer. So I sat upstairs in bed for another hour. When I remembered, I came downstairs. She didn't call 911 immediately. She tries to stretch him out and stuff, and possibly, try to figure out, oh crap, now what do I do? But anyway, bizarre. Her story starts falling apart right here in this interview because they confiscate her phone, and they pull up on her phone, and she has video of him in the suitcase yelling to be let out. And they have audio of her, and I can't say the words she said on YouTube. We've got kids here. Basically saying, blank you type thing. You deserve this. This is how I feel when, because you cheat on me and everything else. And they play this video for her in this interrogation. And she's like, I don't remember that, deer in the headlights type look. And she's sticking with this story that it was a game, and that's just how they talk to each other when they're playing for fun, even though she was dropping the F-bomb and yelling at him on the video, and he's squirming in the suitcase trying to get out, suffocating, saying, "I can't breathe. Sarah, I can't breathe." So that's what we have. That's the evidence. These investigators from the get-go, I don't think they believed her for a second, but she's holding to this. Now, the similarities between her and Darrell Brooks, it's going to come down to intent. That's going to be a key factor on this. They're only charging her with second degree, which in Florida, in the state of Florida where she's being charged, she's going to be in the Ninth Circuit Court, which is Orange County, I believe. They're not going to, there's the death, either they don't have the death penalty, I haven't checked that, or the death penalty on the table for this charge. And it might be hard to prove intent, honestly, because it was just her and him there. But that's not all. That's not all. At the time this interrogation is going on, the autopsy is being done, and he has contusions on his head, blunt force trauma type contusions. He has a cut lip. He has scratches on his neck and on his back, and she has no injuries. And there's already words about a baseball bat and wine bottles, and she says she wasn't drinking. Now there are 2 empty wine bottles, and they found the receipts from the store. Oh, Lori, oh my goodness, you are so witty. Liar, liar, suitcase on fire, for sure. This is, you guys are all guessing what the words are. You guys know what I mean. You know what I mean. I'm not going to say it on the air, so we're going to follow this. So immediately after I watched these, I got online, done some homework. I've been, let me see if I can show you here. Super source with camera 3. Is that an option? Let's see. There we go. I got online. I pulled up the court docket, the information about the case, found out who the judge is. I've been researching the judge. He has had one sort of higher profile incident in the past, a case where he was presiding over an incident where if you remember in the news, there was a restaurant owner who suspected a child who was at the restaurant with his parents was being abused. And when the parents weren't looking, she held up a paper note to the child that says, "Do you need help?" And the boy said yes. And so they got help. And sure enough, he had been just, it was awful. He had been abused there. I believe this judge presided over that case where the dad received life in prison. That's my understanding. I may have to verify that. I skimmed over those details a little bit, but that's just where the judge comes from. I went on if you've ever been in school, we didn't have this when I was a kid, but nowadays they have this whole rate my professor. That's rate, R-A-T-E, my professor. Make sure you spell that correctly if you're searching for it, where students can go in and basically review the professor so other students can see if they want to take the class. Well, they have one of these websites for judges as well. And you can imagine that if you go to traffic court, if you go to, criminal court and the judge lets you off, you're not going to be like, well, I'm going to leave him a great review, right? The only people that leave reviews are the ones that like, he denied my bail. He did, so he's got like the lowest rating possible, but every judge has the lowest rating possible on this website, honestly, unless they get on themselves and make a fake review. Anyway, so that's where it stands there. I've been on the phone with tech support from the county courthouse, just trying to line up the logistics of getting the feed, because I don't want to, if possible, I want to get a direct feed just so I can control it a little better than having to rely on a third party who's passing it on. But it sounds like it's going to be a pool reporter. The court doesn't have their own cameras, but a pool reporter will be there. And let me switch to another preset here. Sorry. There we go. The pool reporter will be there, and their camera will be input into the courtroom system, and that will be sent out. So I'm trying to get that lined up. We've got a couple days to do it. I think that should be good. That should help a little bit with some of the delays we were having as we had to rely on other feeds to try to figure out what's up. But hopefully that'll fix that. So I'm trying to make it better every single time I go live for you guys. Anyway, that's where we're going. That's November 7th. We're going to have a little bit in between. On October 31st at 1 o'clock, I believe we have another hearing where in this court, it's going to be pretty short, I believe, just because it's going to cover, basically the judge has asked the prosecution as well as Darrell to let her know how long roughly each side expects to have their comments and the people that want to comment and sort of get an idea. Darrell's going to have no clue, really. He's going to, between now and then, he's going to have no clue how long people are going to talk, because I don't think he has any idea if anyone will talk. Anyway, who did I just dox? What? No, this is a public record. This is a public record. Mama Mimosa. You're killing me. You're killing me. Anyway, so that's where we're going. I wasn't super excited about this case, but the fact that she is... similarities, right? She has a public defender right now, right? She's not represented herself, but she has a public defender. It is a murder case, and there's a degree of protesting her innocence, even in the in conflict with major facts that will have to be overcome. But in her case, her defense is entirely intent. And man, this interview is unbelievable. She's like, okay, so I have this list of questions. So who's going to call this guy? And I need to figure out, who deals with can I have the wedding ring back? When can I get the wedding ring back? Because I bought that, and it's just like, this is the woman who 2 days ago, accidentally, supposedly killed the man she loves, the love of her life type thing. And the behavior is crazy. You guys are going to see there's some crazy things there. She gets defensive at weird moments. The things she brings up and responds to are just off. They're just off a little bit. But I wanted to say, I told you I gave it a little tease about this before, but I've decided this is what it's going to be. I'm super, super, super hopeful that I'll be able to get a live feed straight from the courthouse that will just be, live as it happens instead of through a third party. Jonathan, if I hear subject matter jurisdiction, I'm out of here. But I never want to hear those three words together again. I don't think we'll hear them in a courtroom setting unless we're reminiscing about the good old days. Yeah, it's crazy. Accidentally, it's a big word. But yeah, how do you accidentally lock someone in a suitcase and then leave them there for 12 hours? And she's like, but I didn't intend to do it. I didn't intend for any of this to happen. It's like, the officer's like, but you put him in the suitcase, right? You zipped it shut. She's like, but I left like 2 fingers. And he's like, no, you didn't. We have the video that shows you didn't. And she's like, but then I just went upstairs and fell asleep. And he said, did you mean to go upstairs? Or did you magically float up the stairs? And she's protested and say, no, I wasn't drunk. She's already said she's not drunk, so she can't say that. And that's not a defense anyway, you know. Crazy, crazy, crazy. That's where we're going. I will be back on and off for the Darrell Brooks case. Anne says, I'm happy because I was going to watch. I'll put you up on their screen. I'm happy too, Anne. I'm glad you're here. Is this a pre-recorded? The one I'm showing is Siesta. Siesta here. Sorry, I clicked on the wrong button. Siesta can now confirm that this is not a pre-recorded video because it says, please read this and respond so I would know. I don't believe in doing pre-recorded videos and presenting them as live. First of all, I believe that violates YouTube's terms of service. And I love this platform and don't want to get kicked off. So you're not going to see me do that ever. As a matter of fact, anytime I'm showing videos, even like I have here, I'm doing my best to let you know which one is live and which one's recorded. Has she been in custody since the murder? That's my understanding. I will have to check on that. I didn't look at that fact, but I believe so. Some serious memory deficiencies. Yes, it's bizarre. And it sounds to me, it sounds very much premeditated. It sounds like she had this plan of what they were going to do and how she would get him to play this game. And seriously, what are the rules of hide and seek where you put the person in the hiding spot where they can't escape from? Is that really a game? That's like the weakest part of a story, I think. Oh, it's lawful law, a real term. It is now. It's in the Darrell Brooks Law Dictionary. So, yeah. Oh man, that's where we are. Do you guys have any questions? Do you guys have anything for me? I know we're going to be away from each other for a few days. Hopefully you don't forget me and you're willing to come back. But what should I be doing? What information do you want? Is there anything you want me to provide or know for you? Do you want me to do like a big what do they call that when the main actor on the stage sort of like speaks to himself? Is it soliloquy? That's a big word for late in the day. But do you want me to have like a big presentation at the beginning just to get you up to speed each day and catch up, and then we can talk about questions and all that? Do you want to just talk? Do you want it just to be like, like this, just me? Let me know if that's good as well. So, because we can do whatever you want. This is as much your platform as is mine. She's all over the place with the interrogator. Yes, she is. I'm going to kill their audio since it's not on the screen here. But anyway, it's going to be great. I think that's definitely the next case we're going for. I'll be on the phone with the courthouse again tomorrow, trying to line up the video feed. Got my fingers crossed on that one. Let's see. Putting blue lights up for Christmas here in Canada. Blue lights for Christmas. What's the significance of that? Or is it just is it a Canadian thing that I just don't know what I'm talking about? Chandra, you're very supportive. I thank you. Guilty Darrell Brooks. Yes, we can now say he is guilty. He is a convicted killer. Wow. Do you think the judge will give him all the maximum sentence? Do you think she's really going to throw 1,231 years at him? I don't know why she wouldn't. She hasn't heard any evidence as to why not to. Mary Kay, you naughty, naughty girl. No suitcases need to be brought to trial. And we've got a troll already. Chandra, can you grab that guy? Oh, good job. Thank you. Abby, you were on it. I appreciate it. Oh. Why people? Why do you come to my site to post that? It's like, what have I done to you? Seriously. I've never been to your website, so why come to mine? Anyway. Blue lights for the victims of DB. All right. I didn't know that was what they were going to do, but that's wonderful. That's a nice, thoughtful gesture. Got him, says Abby. Yes, you did. They were out of here. I'm going to see if I can ban them permanently, maybe. Let's see. I think you got them already. Yep. So we're good. Anyway, I've actually got a meeting tonight, and that's going to take me till the wee hours of the nighttime. Not this related, but so I just wanted to be on for a few minutes. If there's anything I can do, though, if any of you have ideas as well, if there's a case that comes up, you're like, hey, can you just maybe not cover it for, like this, but maybe can you just look at it and explain something to me? Reach out to me on my social medias. All my social medias are the same. If you search Metal Detecting Recovery Addict on just about any platform, you can find me. My little avatar is going to be exactly the same on every single social media platform. So reach out to me on Twitter or Facebook or wherever you'd like, and throw me a little question. I'd love to make either a little video or maybe even it might be our next live case if you got a good idea there. So you guys are amazing that way, and I love having input from everywhere. It might be a little hard to handle a case from overseas. That might be a challenge. So like UK, the court system there is very different than it is here. It operates very differently. So that would be a challenge for me to handle, as well as I don't think the live stream is as readily available. You might have to correct me on that, but Aileen says, this girl is a little off from center. The more she talks, the more she looks guilty. Yeah, it's, but she's already, in the interview, she's sworn on the Bible and she's sworn on her son's life that this was not intentional. So for whatever that's worth, because she also said she wasn't drinking, and then they found the 2 bottles of wine, and she said she never laid a hand on him. And I haven't heard of the evidence. They did, during the interrogation, they swabbed under her fingernails. And she has a claim that the injuries to his back, the fingernail injuries to his back, were due to an amorous event. But we'll see what happens there. There's obviously going to be some evidence that comes out. I will warn you, there's some language in here. There's some strong language on the video and the interrogation. There's just a lot of strong language. On the video she took of him in the suitcase, and that will be played, I'm sure, with the audio. That's crucial for intent. So just be aware of that. That's not something I'll be able to mute out during the live stream. I normally wouldn't go for that, and that's not the goal. But it's sort of key to understanding her intent. I wonder what her representation is going to look like. Are they going to be like, another one of these? You're seriously going to go with not guilty with all this evidence? Why do I get all the ones who can't? Yeah, it would have been easier for her to take a plea, and I'll have to find out if there was a plea offered. We'll see. Chandra, welcome, St. John. She says, thanks for joining us. St. John, what's your new profession? New here, thanks. My new profession, St. John, I don't know yet. I'm still looking. I do a little bit of social media consulting for businesses. I do a little bit of tech support for people here and there. I do a little bit of camera work, live streaming. I've live streamed like events for colleges and things like that. I'd love for live streaming to be part of my new profession, but I just don't know if it will meet what I need. I'll probably have to get a job to earn money to pay for everything. But hopefully that job won't interfere with what I love doing, which is this right here. Hopefully she won't represent herself. I don't think she will, Patty. First of all, she is not a sovereign citizen. Thank goodness. Thank goodness she is not a sovereign citizen. So we're not going to have all that garbage to try to interfere and confuse the situation. So the case will probably go quicker. But that's it. Rhonda, thank you, Scott. You're doing a great job. Glad I found you. Rhonda, I'm glad you found me as well. I'm glad you're here. Appreciate your input. Anytime you have a question or input, please share it with us. We'd love to hear all the different viewpoints. I used to work, but 8 back surgeries did me in 8, Lori. 8. You must be half like, what do they call it when you're part robot? You guys are going to help me with my vocabulary, right? You're not judging me because I can never remember the word I'm thinking of. Cyborg. I found it before you guys did, right? Nobody said cyborg yet? 8 back surgeries. That's a lot of surgeries, man. And also, that is no fun. Back surgeries are no fun. I've got some friends that have had to go through a couple, whether it's fusing. It's no fun. the rest and recovery afterwards is not restful at all, and laying there not able to move. Don't like it, please. Bionic's a better term, Lori. Thank you for that. Earth to Cindy, take care. Thank you for being here. So far it was an accident, Chandra. You're correct. We don't know. My alarm's going off. What's the defense going to be? Kirk, it's intent. She's not denying she did it. This is one main difference from Brooks. Brooks never even admitted that he was Brooks, right? We never got the satisfaction of him saying that, I'm sorry, or, I don't know what happened, or any sort of anything close to associating him with actually committing the crime. But in this one, she freely says, she's like, I zipped him into the suitcase. We were playing a game. I didn't think it would be a problem. I thought he could get out. I went upstairs, laid in bed for a half an hour. Thought he was going to come up. He didn't. I fell asleep. And it's, yeah. Aileen says in the video she was definitely, I think he said definitely drunk. He got the bruises from being bounced around in the suitcase. Yes, the suitcase was flipped around with him in it, which she's lied about already. She has no idea how he got all these bruises, but in the autopsy, they've said that that wasn't caused from being the suitcase being flipped. So she might have been struck him with something at some point, either before or after he was in the suitcase. Who's the girl we're going to watch next? I'm here for it. Songbits Laurie Kai. Let me show you. We're watching this one right here. This is the woman in the jeans and the little T-shirt on the left hand of the screen, right next to my face. That is Sarah Boone, and she is accused of murdering her boyfriend, and by stuffing him in a suitcase and not letting him out. There's video of him in the suitcase moving around as he's pushing, trying to get the suitcase open. It's bizarre. It's very bizarre. But trial will bring it all out. It will, Lori. You are correct. Abby, you're loving this. I'm glad you're here, Abby. Let's see. What's the wisdom of God? You say the Wagner case has hidden details. I think motive is still kind of weak, in my opinion. Tell me more. What's the Wagner case? How can I look that up? I'm not familiar with that. Ooh. And Kirk has a little gut feel right here. I think she threw him down the stairs. Maybe. We do know that the suitcase normally is upstairs in the closet, but it ended up downstairs. A couple people are saying this. Okay, we'll see. Well, we don't know. We have the evidence that's been released, right? We have these videos that that have been released publicly. The news has this and everything, but we don't have all the evidence. We don't have the autopsy report type thing. We'll have to see what that shows. That would be interesting. Platypus. Imagine what Brooks could have accomplished with his life if he spent his adult life studying law like he did the last 3 weeks instead of being a career criminal. Yeah, he was a very studious student. Unfortunately, he was studying like from some little fringe website, I think. But if he spent his time poring over the book the judge had given him, he might actually be able to help some of his fellow inmates. You never know. That's a great comment. I appreciate that. The Wisdom of God says, Ohio Pike Massacre versus George Wagner IV. I'm going to Google that really quickly. Is this still being tried, or is this has this been have they ruled on this already? Has it been sentenced? Ohio Pike. The reason I'm asking is I'm just saying, is this one that we would be looking back, sort of like a podcast, true crime type looking? Let's see. One day ago, I've got a fairly recent article about it, so that's always a good stand. It's the largest murder investigation ever in Ohio. What were the dates? What are the dates? 2016, huh? Let's see. Lots of. Oh man, this is going to be one of those gruesome ones, isn't it? Holy cow! So where are we at then? Nearly 2.5 years after the gruesome murders, the public saw a major break in the case. Four members of the Wagner family were arrested in November 2018. So that's about right for a trial about now. Is it over yet? Charges were dropped against Frederica Wagner. Okay, let me look at your comments here. Not yet. Yes, not yet sentenced. So it's gone to trial though. His fellow inmates are going to ice him, says Mark. Hope not. I really hope not. I'm not a big fan of that. St. John. We should start a GoFundMe to sponsor Judge Jennifer Darrell's vacation. Yes, she definitely deserves one. It's probably not going to come till after October, but I hope she gets some good R&R time. Did DB have any family members present during the verdict? We don't know yet. I haven't seen from any of the news reports that he did, but it's possible. Your avatar and chosen name aren't lost on me. I think you have ill intent in mind, so I'll have to say no on that one. So Valentina says, that's the lady that put her boyfriend in a suitcase right as he was pleading for his life, and she was laughing on the phone. Why do these people even try to fight in court? She is fighting the intent issue. She's trying to say you can't prove the intent, which would mean the penalty is much lower. Without that intent proven, it's, she would probably see freedom after some period in jail, in prison. But yeah, especially because she doesn't really have much of a rap sheet. She has been arrested for domestic of some sort. We don't have all the details yet, but oh yeah, platypus. I think that was his next line, but the judge just shot him down. Lori, thank you. Get some rest. That's an order. We'll catch you on the next one. In this case, the state has a ruling you can opt out of the camera and audio. Are you talking about in Florida? Or Anne, are you talking about what? Okay, so here's what you're saying. Okay, the wisdom of God gives some background there. So currently in the trial for Wagner's, although they've muted the audio on the live stream, so the defendants get to decide if it's the audio is carried on the live stream, or is that a prosecution decision? I'm wondering, or maybe a judge's decision, if based on just the content and how it's sort of not fit for public consumption. Hopping rabbit. I think no. That's what I'm going to go with that one. I think no. Keep your fingers crossed. It could happen. The judge might be very lenient on the sentencing, but I think she has some minimum mandatories that will be much higher than just probation. Involuntary, yes. I think that's an option. We'll have to look at what the statutes look like in Florida to see that. So Pike County is what you're talking about, and I got that a little bit about the cameras. I tried to turn off the slow chat on this feed. Did that work? Are you guys able to talk as much as you want right now? I figured we'd have a smaller group here now that sort of the hubbub of the trial has died down a little bit. I wanted to let you talk a little more. Judge decision, says Anne. Great. That makes it a little harder. We can talk about a lot of things, but we might have to do like Freedom of Information Act requests, and they're not fun, and sometimes they cost a little bit of money, but we can do that. We can see what information we can get, whatever's available. Obviously, it will be redacted to some extent. But how ironical is it, Mr. Brooks, to say he's praying for the families of victims? For the record, Mr. Brooks in his closing statement said he never finished reading a letter from his daughter. He said that, and then he said, but then she went on to say that, and then he's like, some statement about him being the best father she could ever have wanted or something, and it sounded like it definitely was not written from a child the age that his child was. That was bizarre as well. Yeah, we did skip over that. Good catch on that, Luke. I can't wait for her to tell him how evil he is. Abby, this is one thing I like. I looked up this judge, and the judge on the case for the suitcase murder. Let me pull up his information here. Just one second. Ninth Circuit. Not that one. I'm getting there. Sorry. Give me just a minute. His name starts with a W. Like Wooten or something, Judge Wooten, I think. I watched a recording of him sentencing someone, and he let it out. I mean, he let him have it. It wasn't a long description of how he really felt about the guy, but he's like, I'm giving you the maximum I can, and quite frankly, it's less than you deserve. And I thought, oh, good, we're going to get a judge who speaks his mind, and that will be interesting. There are, going back to that website that rates judges, there are lots of complaints saying that he goes easy on domestic abuse situations. Sort of from what I gathered, the accusation was that he lets generally the male off easy in these situations. So I'm not sure if that'll come into play. We'll have to look at that. We'll have to look at some of his previous cases that he's handled. John Bubba, let me know this. So the rumor has it that the guy who yelled POS in court was Kirby. I'd like to see an unfiltered and open platform for that interview with the guy who yelled. Here's what we know. I don't think anything is going to happen to him from a legal standpoint. The guy who yelled, rot in blank, he be a piece of blank. Yeah. I don't think anything is going to happen because the judge said, and we missed this as we were trying to get the feed live. The judge says right when she sat down, she's like, we've got a verdict. I expect everyone to behave properly. If you don't, this was her threat. If you don't, you could be removed from the courtroom. So like she basically said, if you're not good, the worst thing that can happen is you don't get to be here. And that's what happened. So he got his piece in. He probably, he might have an opportunity to speak at the victims' statements. It's a possibility depending on if he qualifies for that. The wisdom of God. Too soon, right? How do people feel about the Brooks hoax Reddit post? Was that funny or what? Wisdom, we've actually had people in our own little chat here on this feed claim to be all sorts of people, including Mr. Brooks, while we were watching live that he was in court. So we know it was fake and it was a hoax, but I imagine the one that was sent to them on Reddit, it might have been sort of one of those egregious type hoaxes, but there were plenty of them all over the internet. And I believe it was a hoax. It was probably in bad taste because it does cast doubt and have to be investigated. I believe if you're going to do a hoax, make it funny and make it clear that it's a hoax. Platypus says, that was Abby. Platypus says, it wasn't Kirby. I thought so too, but the reporter in the room said it was a victim's family member and did not want to be interviewed. So there's a chance that gentleman would qualify. The judge might recognize him and say, no, you got your piece already. Sorry. Yeah. Dumb hoax. Of course it was fake. Right. But could it be a mistrial now? Oh, my goodness. Your Honor, I really think we need to look into this mistrial thing. It's my last hope. Help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi. Yeah, that was hilarious. Oh, man. Reddit posts are taken with less than a grain of salt. I thought it was a hoax automatically. Jurors should be able to sue that author, though, and take tons of money from him for a long time. I don't think that'll happen. It was in bad taste. The jurors really didn't know about it, and it didn't delay anything the jurors were doing, honestly, because the judge found out that morning as court was already in session, and she didn't stop doing anything because of it. As a matter of fact, she continued until the jury had been excused to deliberate before she even brought it up with the parties. And then, of course, Mr. Brooks was all upset. He wants to make sure he has a fair trial, and a Reddit hoax is going to cast that in doubt for sure. Chandra, Reddit equals dark web light. Yes, it is. It's the gray area of the web. There's some good stuff out there, but there's also just some, man, if you want to go down a rabbit hole, Reddit is the place to start. Oh, what's this story, says Eric Craig. This is the suitcase murder. Lady in Florida, her name is Sarah Boone, zipped she says husband and then boyfriend, so I'm not sure which. I think it's boyfriend. Into a suitcase when they were playing hide and seek, just the two of them. She hid him and then didn't seek him for another 12 hours. And when she did seek him, he was dead. That's the trial, and she's saying it was unintentional. But that's what we're going with on this next one. It starts on the 7th of November. We'll do a little bit. I'll be on back and forth. I'm not sure if I'll be live, but I'll post a few videos between now and then. If there's something that comes up, if there's another court case, it might be something in the news that I find worthy, that's worth talking about. Maybe I'll jump on live and we'll talk about it a little bit. But that's really going to be our next big case, is that suitcase murder. That's amazing, Scott. I assure you, says Mermaid Lagoon, I assure you people all over the world are rejoicing and finally breathing a sigh of relief. Yes. Platypus, you're correct. The Reddit post was in his favor. So it literally helped him. So I don't think you could have a mistrial if the information out there helped him. It doesn't make sense, but most of his logic hasn't. Who did it? What do we know? One of DB's friends? No, I don't think so. I think it was somebody completely just trying to get a name for themselves, get a couple likes on their post or something. This chat grew bigger than I expected. I thought it would just be a couple of you hardcore addicts like myself, but yeah, we've got a little crowd in here, so that's great. I've got half an hour before I need to go, and then I've got to get ready for my meeting. But I can stay that long if you want to talk. Otherwise, I can't excuse you for the day, release you from your jury duty in this court of public opinion. 12 hours. Wow. What was that about? What did I say? What was 12 hours? Brandon, tell me, what was this comment about? Did I say something and forget about it already? Let me know. Walter, good. Brooks found guilty today. Yes, Walter, you're correct on all 76 charges, and intent was found on every one of them. As soon as we knew the first guilty, I knew 2 more charges, because the judges instructed them that if you find him guilty of committing any of these crimes, he's also guilty of bail jumping. And so those are the only 2 I knew as soon as the first one was read. Craig, my man, I'm so proud of you. Just had a huge chicken sandwich. Wonderful. You guys know I'm a big sandwich fan. I might have to get a little more variety. I don't want you guys to think that I just eat the same thing every day, but I could. I'm really that boring. You are newly recommended to me, said Hopping Rabbit. Well, Hopping Rabbit, whoever recommended you, kudos to them. They sound like amazing people. I made my own sandwich out of the cast iron. Oh, man. Have you guys done Dutch oven cooking? Have you guys ever done that? I was a Boy Scout as a kid, and I was even an Eagle Scout and a Scout Master at one point. Wood badge, I've done the whole thing. But I've just had enough boys that I've always been involved with scouting, and I love cooking while camping. And Dutch ovens are the way to go. If you have not eaten a meal cooked in a Dutch oven, if you haven't had peach cobbler cooked over coals, you haven't lived. I can tell you that. Anyway, thanks for having me, says Brandon C. You're welcome. You're welcome anytime. I appreciate you being here. Can judge tell off Brooks before or as she's sentencing, or does she wait until sentence is formally read? Emma, during the sentencing process, what's going to happen is immediately before she sentences him to the gavel, she's going to give her piece. She's going to say, "Look, you mocked this court from day one. You have never shown remorse." And she's going to just spell it out. She's going to say that she has not found in his behavior or in his defense any reason to lessen these charges from the maximum allowed by law. That this is just, in my head, this is what she's going to do. And she's going to be much more eloquent than I am, and she's going to look good doing it, and we are going to clap the entire time. That's my prediction anyway. Bruce, congratulations. Glad to hear it. I learned a lot of the things that shaped my life through the scouting program. And it was wonderful. I had some really helpful people that really guided me as a youth, that kept me out of trouble, really. Google algorithm recommended me. Also, follow other court channels, though. Wonderful. There are some great channels out there. I'm not sure if you saw earlier today, we have a resident, a lawyer from Lubbock, Texas, that joins the chat. His name is Matt, or Matthew. and he'll be on here now and then. He's got my number, and he's going to call in. We're going to do a little bit of collaborations. He's also got a YouTube channel, so he has cameras and audio and everything. And I watched a couple of things, and I thought, I'd really enjoy being able to have a panel discussion. And I'm thinking if it can be me and him, and maybe open the phone lines to you guys to ask questions, I think that's a format I could work with pretty well. And let you guys ask a question, and then we can bounce it around and ask chat and everything. I think that would be a lot of fun. Chris, you've asked the $1 million question. How can they find him guilty without his consent? I don't know. I'm boggled. My mind is boggled. He did not give consent. He's going to be screaming that all the way until they lock the bars on his cell. So will a statement pre-sentencing will not be held against her by appeals? No, it won't, because she did not. That doesn't influence the jury. It doesn't influence the decision. It wasn't an unfair or a biased presentation in front of the triers of the facts, who are the jury. So I don't believe so, and it's actually in order for her to do that. This is her job to sentence, to make the actual ruling as far as the sentence goes, and provide the reasoning for that. So no problems there. Sentencing and victim statements on Monday. Jay Hughes, possibly. I don't know how soon. All we know is that we're going to meet at 1 o'clock in the afternoon on the 31st. The judge has ordered both parties to be there to answer how long each side wants to talk. I don't know if that means we're then going to start immediately with those statements, or if they're going to say, okay, then we're going to start in 2 days or in a week or something like that. I hope it doesn't run over the suitcase trial. Hopefully we can get this Mr. Brooks wrapped up and locked up before that starts. I bet he'll argue during his sentencing. He will have a chance to say something, I believe. Thanks for the answer. That's complete, says I thought your name was Recovad. Emma, thank you. Appreciate the little hyphenated, or the shorted version of my name, abbreviated version of my name, there's the word, threw me off just for a moment. Did you see DA and a couple family members gave a presser after this afternoon? I did see that. I was watching the interview for the suitcase murder during that. And so I didn't get to, there's another guy. He's back. Man, thank you, mods. Appreciate you. Looks like Chandra, you got that one. Appreciate you. Yeah, we should give bounties to our mods when they block some of these, spammers. So anyway, I saw that happened. I haven't listened to that yet. She did look very happy. She'd look thrilled to be there, and I will go back and listen to that before we go on too far in the process. What a treat, Recovery Addict. Good to see you live again today. Christine, didn't think it would happen, but I see things, I read things, I get so excited, and I just want to share it with you, honestly. It's like I can't contain my excitement for what's coming up. And so that's why I wanted to jump on just for a little bit. I've got just a few more minutes. I seriously do have to go to a meeting. I can't be late because the meeting is going to be using that camera and this computer. So if I suddenly... I'm connected to my Zoom meeting in the middle of a live stream. That would just be weird. Can you prove, says Dean, can you prove that you have subject matter jurisdiction to run this channel for the record? Dean, I make no such claim. As a matter of fact, I will tell you that I am uninformed on just as many topics as you can probably name. But what I am good at is searching out information. And once I find it, I'm pretty good at sussing out what's right and what's wrong. I'm good at reading the law. I'm good at understanding the law and the implications of that. And I like doing it. So basically, this is just an opportunity for me to get homework assignments from you to share with you the answers. Let me Google that for you. That's some of my channel. That's what I do. Let me Google that for you. Recovery Addict, is Sarah Boone case November 7? Yes, it is. And that's what we show on the paperwork out of the Ninth Circuit Court in Florida. That, by the way, the Ninth Circuit, down there in Orange County, it's like the most visited area, like ever. It's so many people come there for vacation. It's a highly trafficked area. They have a lot of crime and things that happen just because there are so many people there. So there's, when you think of like the Florida man stories, like some, Florida man wrestles alligator with his teeth, there's things like that. It's not that there people are are just super weird down in Florida. It's just there's so many people down there that the weird stories that do rise to the top seem to be more prevalent than other areas. Jay Hughes, the Zoom for victim statements. I believe so. I believe that's something that is great to share. It will be hard to watch. It will be emotional for everyone involved, but it's my understanding that I will not connect direct to the Zoom account. That's going to be controlled tightly by the court for the protection of everybody involved. But I will connect to the live feed, which will have the Zoom video and audio. Emma says, I tell you, this fellow needs to find an agent and apply for voiceovers. Sunday. Yeah, I could probably do that. I don't know. The way I talk with you, this is how I talk to everybody. I was telling my wife, when I'm done with a live stream with you guys, I'm not tired physically. I'm not emotionally worn down because I don't have to pretend to be something. You guys get to see me how I am, and sometimes it's a pretty sad picture to look at. But this is me, and so I don't know if somebody wants my voice for a voiceover, I could do that. But trying to do impressions and sound like the guy from the movie trailer shows, that I'm not very good at that. Lisa, if you'd leave Florida, making it less populated, you might solve all problems. You think? Lisa, what were you saying? Oh, there you are. Lisa says, I live in Florida. Florida is great. Lisa, what part are you from? And if so, if you're in Florida, did you get affected by Hurricane Ian? I'm curious if that went through your area. I guess when life gives you... Eric, I almost clicked on your comment, and luckily I got the one right underneath it. You naughty boy. Appreciate your comments, but not that one. Let's see. I just can't post that one. Unwanted spam. I think I got that one. If I kicked someone out that I shouldn't have, let me know. Abby, thanks for getting that one as well. Jay Hughes says, you're a lovely person. I enjoy spending time here in your chat. Jay, it's awesome to have you here. You guys are all just phenomenal people. The cream of the earth right there. She should have asked for attorney. Oh, she should have asked for an attorney and not answer questions, referring to Sarah Boone. She should have. Oh, man, she should have. At the very beginning, she should have. It would be so much easier for her to get her story straight if she had consulted an attorney that could help her craft her lies. Perfect her story, recount her story properly. But she stepped in it so quickly. She had almost prepared. It seems like that she had prepared for quite a while what she wanted to say to the police. And you'll see that when you watch the testimony, there will be parts that stand out where she's saying like, and I had asked him to come inside. I wanted him to come inside. And it's like, why are you emphasizing that? It seems like a weird detail to focus on in the moments after, your boyfriend's found dead. But Eagle, you have given this advice on several occasions. Never talk to the police. I won't say to heed that, but if you are guilty of something, I would say talk to a lawyer first. I encourage people to try to get out of paying the consequence for their actions, but it's good to talk to a lawyer just to understand the situation. Like Mr. Brooks today, he didn't have a lawyer and missed an opportunity for an appeal. He missed an opportunity for the judge to lessen his sentence or even find him not guilty on charges that she might have felt that intent wasn't proven on. A lawyer they charge that much money for a reason. They are worth it. So that's what I'll say there. Nice to meet you all. I'm new here. Have a great evening, Eagle. You're welcome here anytime, so please come back. Barb Murray says, talk to police all the time, please. Yeah. I don't think, I hear what you're saying, Ann. I don't think she's crazy as far as like literally mentally insane. I think she's trying really hard to believe her own story and trying really hard to get other people to believe her own story. But facts are facts. So I feel mad. I'm glad he didn't talk to an attorney. Catatonic Sugar says, recovery addict, I can't have real filtered coffee for the moment. Them grounds do me in. Yep. Grounds. St. John says, I'm in Tampa. Did I miss, who was it? Deb? Who was it that says I'm in Florida? I lost your name already. Lisa. Lisa, did I miss where you said you were from? I'm just trying to scroll back and see what you said. You might not have said. Oh, there it is. Bingo. Found you. Ferdinanda Beach. Fernandina Beach. I didn't get hit so hard by Jacksonville. Good. Wonderful. I'm glad you're safe. Yeah, those guys on the west side. Yeah. I'll tell you this. There was a lady. Her name was Effie. I'll tell you that. Her first name was Effie. And she called me from the Rotunda area. This is in Florida, and this was 4 days after the hurricane. Her house was in shambles. The roof had fallen in a couple rooms. She was living there with her husband still. They have no power. They have no water. They're running out of food. And she's like, we're trying just to survive. Can somebody send a tarp to cover our roof type thing? That's what she was asking. And while I was on the phone with her, she's saying, my husband, he's just had heart surgery. He's still in recovery, and the neighbors needed help. They have a flat tire they ran over some debris, and he's out there, trying to fix their tire right now. And while I was on the phone with her, you hear a siren. And she hears the siren. She's talking on the phone. She says, oh no, where's my husband? I can't find my husband. And it's just like, oh my goodness, my heart dropped. And I thought, please no, don't let it be him at this moment when she's lost everything physical that she owns, and then also to lose her husband. Luckily, that was not the case. But just to hear, this woman was in her 70s, and just to hear the desperation in her voice, as she, handled the loss of every physical possession with such cheer. And she's like, it happens, we'll get by, It was crazy. I will tell you that the people of Florida are amazing. I've talked to so many of them in the last couple of weeks, and they're just incredible. Anyway, that was a little bit of a side note. Bob Murray says, I'm a nurse at Waukesha Memorial Hospital, and I also float to the Department of Correction. Barb, wow, were you there during the incident? Were you on call? Were you called in when that happened, or did you start working there after last year? That is incredible. Yeah. Wow. Okay. The suitcase trial. I watched this interview, and it's going to be a great trial. I agree. It's going to be incredible. We'll find out more details. I don't know even right now if it's going to be in front of a jury or just a judge. We'll find out. But if it's just a judge, I think it will go a little faster because there's a lot of logistical stuff that eliminates. But we'll see what rights she's requested. John Bubba, I can't click on your comment. Jay Hughes says, I need to have her on one panel on one afternoon. I'd love to. If some of you have insights or experience that might be useful to this, I'd like to consider. I can't promise. Yes, I do want to sort of have some control over the channel because I want to keep it what it's been so far. I want it to be very much the same feel, that same vibe that we had when we started. But just checking my watch. I've got 11 minutes. Roxanne, hey everyone, my bell didn't ding. Roxanne, we'll send you a new bell. I don't know why that notification doesn't come through for you. I appreciate having you here. You've done great work since the get-go, really. That's wonderful to have you. Wisconsin is a nice state with some weirdos, says Barb. Oh man, there are weirdos in every state. You know that? There really are. AJ, how do you think he got into that suitcase alive? Well, they were playing hide and seek. Apparently, that's the story. I haven't heard anything else. But the fact that he had some pretty serious injuries to his head, to me, tells me that maybe he was coaxed or convinced to get in the suitcase, or possibly wasn't aware he was getting in the suitcase when it happened. Emma says, someone like Barb would have an interesting point of view watching traumatic emotions spread, or rather be recognized more widely among citizens. Yeah, it would be heartbreaking. I wouldn't want to have you on if it would be traumatic for you or traumatic for other people. I'm not going for the shock factor. Does that make sense? I don't think we need that in this channel to be able to have what we have here. She tricked him. He was drinking also. That would explain the 2 empty bottles of wine with the receipts from the day before. The day spa, I think, will be gifted to Judge Darrow. So I think she's entitled to that now. Yes, there are weirdos in every state, and all of us in one way or another are a little weird to somebody else. We've all got our little idiosyncrasies, but Hugh says, have you played and seen the video? Yes, I watched. I was telling you, you probably missed right when I started. I actually watched as soon as the live stream ended. I started watching this the Sarah Boone video and watched the entire interview, and then I watched the entire body cam video of basically when they were at the scene, when the fire department's on scene, discovered his body, and she gets interviewed as well. So I watched both of them. I'm like, oh my goodness, where have I been? This is incredible stuff. I can't wait to talk about it. Roxanne has some instructions for Chandra. Check your bell and make sure it's the black color. Then in your settings, make sure your YouTube notifications are on. That's the way we do it. And hopefully you'll get a notification. Ken Campbell approves. He says, yes, the suitcase lady. I will tell you, when I tried to Google the suitcase trial, I got like 15 of them. And apparently she's not the first person to think of using a suitcase. Although most of the other cases involve dismembered bodies and hiding them, and the suitcase is sort of used to get the body parts out of the house or away from this crime scene without, overtly drawing the attention of the neighbors. But yeah, so suitcase and law and trials, they've been together for quite a while. Let's see. Candy Jean says, new here. Oh my gosh, is the video legit on YouTube of him in the case? Candy, which video? And yes, all of them are. You're going to be blown away. Go back and watch the videos. Law and Crime has good, unbroken, uninterrupted videos. That's where a lot of times we can find some of our footage. But they have great video. You can go back and watch just day after day. Watch it in succession. Take 2 weeks off work or whatever you have to do it. I do recommend, and I might do this here in the future. My wife is a huge fan of this. Watch the videos on YouTube at a higher speed. There are a lot of pauses in this, and maybe there's another lawyer YouTube type live streamer that I think is called the Lawyer You Know. Great guy. He sort of does evening after work summaries of what happened, and he watches everything on like 2 times speed, and it's so fast you can't catch it all. It's just blah, 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 blah. But I do recommend that if you go back and watch these videos, watch it at 1.5 times speed at least, and then when you find a spot you're like, did he really say what I think he said? Slow it down, rewind, and yes, he really said what you think he said. Angie, yes, the video on the cell phone for this suitcase lady, yeah, it's on there, and she's yelling and swearing at him and saying that he deserves it, and that's how she feels when he chokes her, and that's what you get for cheating type thing. It's interesting. She said in this interview, she's like, she's like, I'm lost. I'm confused here. I always do excel at everything I do, and I don't know what I'm supposed to do right here. What's next? What do I do? I'm like, wow, a little bit of a control freak maybe, but she's like, I'll tell you what to do. You just stand up, face the wall, and put your hands behind your back. And that's what they did. And she was like, why are you doing this? I'm like, well, because your boyfriend is dead in a suitcase and you put him there. Anyway, we are going to talk about all that. The suitcase was the murder weapon. Is that a deadly weapon? That's the question. Or should it be considered a deadly weapon now? I can tell you, I've been in airports with people running past me with suitcases, and those seem to be deadly weapons at the time. So maybe so. You know, is there a cause for that to be an aggravating factor on the charge? Tisha Monroe says, "How do you highlight the chat name to answer somebody?" Tisha, I could do. Let me show you. I can't show you really well, but I have this computer up here, this big white blob. That's a Mac, an iMac, and I'm running on that Mac. I'm just running the YouTube app in Chrome. There's actually a Chrome extension that's free that you can download, and I think it's called Live Chat Overlay or something like that. And when you use that, it and then you click the pop-out chat window. It can separate the live chat feed from the. This is probably more information than everybody wants, but you can pop it out away from the window. Let me turn the key off, and I'll show you here just for a second. You guys are getting a behind-the-scenes look at how this happens. Let's see. Enable mask. I'll turn that off. Okay, so this is actually what the window looks like. And all I've done is I've just popped the display. I'll shut it down. Okay, so here's what I've got. Right, I'm watching my own stream, and over here in the chat, which this is sort of nesting inside each other. Over here in the chat, I just click the button and say pop out chat. The chat opens in a new window. I make it full screen like this. It has a sample message on the bottom already. I clear that off, and then I can enable what's called a mask, where on my computer it will cut off parts of the video. And so I just cut off the top where I can see everybody's names, and then when I click on a name in there, it pops up on the bottom portion, and that's how it works. So, oh my goodness, guess what? So I feel stupid. That wasn't your question at all. You were asking how to make their name highlight in chat, and I gave you a full technical rundown of how my camera system works. I feel like an idiot. Oh my goodness. Well, sorry about that. Yeah. So that's how you do it. Sorry, Tisha. You had a great question, and I just assumed I knew what you were talking about. My bad on that. Abby says, "Wow, Scott, I'm confused already." Me too now. Yeah, I'm sorry. Okay, so here's the deal. It is 2 minutes to 8 here where I am, and I've got a meeting that starts in just a few minutes. You guys, thank you for your patience with me. I'm a bit of a nerd sometimes, and if you need me to shut up or stop talking about nerdy stuff, just let me know. I appreciate the kind words from all of you. Grounds. I'm trying to flow through all these. Barb, thank you from the bottom of my heart. My best wishes to all the people up in Waukesha. Let's go ahead and wrap it up. Thank you so much. I appreciate all you guys. I just wanted to get out there that we will be doing the suitcase trial. We'll start on November the 7th. We'll be back maybe a couple times before. In between, as we talk about just legal things and some, whatever I find interesting. But we'll definitely be back on the 31st with Judge Darrow, as I think it's going to be 1 o'clock that she has the parties in to talk about the impact statements and how long those will take. It might be a short stream, and we might actually start the impact statements right then. So we'll see how that goes. But Chandra, I'm glad the withdrawals are over, but they're going to start again because we've got to end. My meeting is going to start in like 20 seconds, and I've got to go. You guys are amazing. Keep up the good work. We'll see you on the next one. Make sure you hug the people you love, and be safe. We'll catch you later.